Studying for CeMAP while holding down a full-time job is completely doable. In fact, it's most people's way of completing the qualification. And the key here isn't about having loads of free time. It's about having structure, consistency, and a study plan that fits around your life rather than fighting against it. So here are some of the best ways to study for CeMAP 1 whilst you're working full-time in another job. So the first thing, and number one thing of all of them, is studying little and often. You see, the biggest mistake people make is trying to fit in a huge, massive study session. That's going to lead to burnout, inconsistency, and just a bit of a disaster. So instead, what I recommend you aim for is studying for about 30 to 60 minutes per day. See, short bursts of focused studying is going to get you over that line. And consistency is more important than intensity. If you do it over a long period of time, it's going to add up faster than you think, and it's far more effective than a once a week absolute study marathon, which I think is something that many people do, which is a bit of a shame. Second one you have is to build a weekly study schedule that you can actually stick to. So you don't need a complicated plan, you just need a simple routine, okay? Something that you can just stick to all the time. It's very easy to follow. Simplify success, like I would say. So you want to try something like maybe 3 evenings per week, 1 to 2 hours per session. That's probably doable, again, if you can, but even that 30 to 60 is fine. One longer session at the weekend, which is optional if you want to just add that extra bit of immersing into it. You see, when you commit to a fixed rhythm, CeMAP becomes much easier to get through because it is one of these things that just starts to compound. You will go through it because there is a routine and a schedule to actually break it down. The third one is breaking modules into small, manageable chunks. So the FESRE, which is the new CeMAP 1, and the mortgage modules, the other mortgage modules, they can feel pretty heavy if you look at them straight away and you just look at them as one giant block. I mean, it's pretty intimidating, especially as a dyslexic. So instead, what you can do is dive into each section into bite-sized topics, just to split them all up, divide them all up. Then also study one topic at a time. Don't move on until you're very comfortable with it. I think that's probably the big one, is making sure you are very comfortable with what it is you're reading and that you understand it. Don't just read it, understand it. You see, this is going to reduce significantly overwhelm, and it's going to increase the retention, hopefully over the long haul. The fourth thing is use practical questions early, not just at the end. So CeMAP is multiple choice. So you need to get used to these style of questions is what I'm trying to say. And that means that you should be practicing as early as possible. Think of it like a driving test. It's the same thing for your theory driving test. You do the same thing. So what you should be doing is you should do short quizzes after each topic. Review wrong answers and then find the gaps so you can find where you need to repeat, and read and restudy. And then repeat mock tests until the pattern feels familiar, because one of the things that you'll find is there is a pattern. There is a pattern. You'll be able to notice it. Once you notice it, it gets way easier, because practicing the questions is going to build confidence faster than reading alone is ever going to do. The fifth one is study during dead time. So you can make huge progress by using small pockets of time you would normally waste. So on your commute, audio notes and revision cards are great, but commuting, like listening to stuff, awesome. Lunch breaks are great. Waiting rooms are great. Walking the dog is really, really good. The gym is really, really great as well. Just listening to some sort of audiobook version in the gym. Evenings, when you usually scroll your phone, use that time to study. You see, these micro sessions compound massively over 3-4 months, and they will make a big, big difference on the retention and your understanding of the topic. The sixth point then is use a mix of learning methods. So most people retain information better when they vary how they study. So you want to mix in a mixture of, and I'm a dyslexic, but I still, when I did my exams, I was still looking at the reading material. So look at the reading material, of course, watch explainer videos on it. There's loads more than when I was out there. There's great people online now who talk about great stuff about CeMAP. Use revision apps as well. Make your own notes as well. So start to build out your own notes understanding. Speak concepts out loud. Talk to people if you can. To people you don't like, other people. If you've got brokers in the industry that you know, talk to them about it. Speak it out loud. People will help you. They'll be happy to. And this keeps things engaging and it stops study fatigue. The next bit then, number 7, is don't rush FESRE, which is the new module 1. It's the new CeMAP 1. You see, FESRE is much deeper than the old CeMAP 1. So you want to take your time here because it sets a foundation for the rest of it. It covers much broader financial regulation than the original CeMAP 1 did, and it's more detailed because it's at a level 4 qualification. So if you get the FESRE right, the mortgage modules become much, much easier because of this. So it's something you really do want to take the time to study and understand. But the number 8 point here is I recommend you avoid the weekend-only traps. So weekend-only study sessions sound great on paper, but it rarely ever works because you lose momentum and spend half your time relearning what you learned and what you learned last week and what you completely forgot. And so a better approach with this would be light weekday sessions. Some of those things I said before about this idea of these little like moments within your days where you can have little study sessions, and then optional longer sessions to review the sessions over the weekend. So optional longer ones the weekend is going to be much better. This keeps everything fresh in your mind. Now, the 9th point I'd say here is take the exam as soon as you're ready. So do not overthink it. If your practice scores are consistently strong, book the exam right now. Do not wait, okay? Lock in that date, get ready to go, because you will have learned it. You see, if you keep studying as well, though, up until that date, of course, because you want to keep it going, but a booked exam creates focus and stops you dragging out the process. And it's a thing called Parkinson's law, trying to say that word correctly, which is that I think a task will compress the time it's given. So once there's a date, you know something is coming, and you're going to have to work towards it. See, studying for CeMAP while working full time is all about rhythm. It's not about pressure. When you break that course into small chunks, you use your evenings wisely, you stay consistent, you progress quickly, and you'll do it all without burning out. The great thing about CeMAP is it is just multiple choice. But if you want to know how that works and what it looks like in the exam, then click on this video right now where I break it down in more depth.